Last week I showed you how to preserve your sourdough starter as a backup by dehydrating it, just in case anything happens, and now I'm going to show you the rehydration process, which only takes 3 to 4 days before you can start baking with it again. Begin with 5 grams of dehydrated sourdough starter in a jar and add 20 grams of room temperature water, which is about 1.5 tablespoons. Allow this to sit for about an hour or until the starter is completely dissolved, then stir in 15 grams of unbleached all-purpose flour, which is about 2 loosely packed and leveled tablespoons. This is the consistency you want, thick and pasty. Depending on how old your dehydrated starter is, you may or may not see any activity for the first 24 hours. On day 2, don't discard, just add 30 grams or 1/4 loosely packed and leveled cups of flour and 30 grams or 2 tablespoons of room temp water. Let this sit for another 24 hours, and on day 3, you will start to see a tiny bit of activity. A few bubbles will be visible from the top and bottom. This is a sign that you should start increasing your feedings 8 to 12 hours apart. Discard all but 15 grams of starter, which is about 1 tablespoon, then add 30 grams or 1/4 cup of flour and 30 grams or 2 tablespoons of room temp water. I did this at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m. on day 3. Ignore the time you saw written on the jar previously. This is in the early morning on day 4. The starter has doubled in size, but it's gonna keep growing, so I'm just marking it again to show you. Your starter should have a pleasant and slightly tangy smell, but not sharp or strongly alcoholic. This is another hour later. It's ready for baking just after it peaks, and you can tell by this line of demarcation. I don't know if that's the right term. I'm an ex-hairstylist, but you get the idea.